10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
He manages to get it wide to Jacob Minter. Yeah, good job with the shot, and the Slough Jets have taken the lead on the power play with 23 slots all with the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lorde, and Campbell finds himself in, and it is 3-1 to the Chelmsford Chieftains. They have
Hello and welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK Ice Hockey Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode 127. First of all, I'd like to tell you about our partners. We're in partnership with the Hockey Art Co. Hockey clothing for hockey people, beautifully designed by Mike Giannoni, hockey-inspired clothing for on ice and off ice. You can get 10% off of everything from hockeyartclothing.co.uk when you use the code ZP10 upon checkout. We're also in partnership with 2 Minutes for Trading. Dylan at 2 Minutes for Trading has been creating these trading cards for sports clubs. The photos are superb quality. The stats from the players' senior careers are superb quality as well. You can use it as a trading card game or just collectible items, which the fans have absolutely loved. Dylan so far has done it for the Solent Devils and for the Chelmsford Chieftains. If you want to get your club involved, make sure you send him a message, and then you could have these fantastic trading cards to collect for your team. We're also in partnership with Manscaped, the globally recognized male grooming brand that do have the best wireless shavers that you can buy. They're ceramic blades, so there's no cuts and nicks. There's a light on the lawnmower, so when you use it in the shower, you can see everything that you're doing wherever you're doing it. So all these shavers are all waterproof, so you can use them in the shower at all times, which it just makes them so versatile. I use them myself; they're absolutely brilliant. Would not be without them. You can get 20% off of everything from manscaped.com when you use the code 0pucks20. We are also on the Sports Social Podcast Network, the largest sport podcast network in Europe, boasting over 500 podcasts from more than 20 different sports. Zero Pucks Given and ZPG Ice Maidens are both parts of it, and we're absolutely delighted to be so. So as I said, this is episode 127. We've had our roundup from the Halloween weekender. There's a couple of teams that are doing their Halloween stuff this weekend coming because they either weren't playing or they weren't playing at home. So we'll look forward to some Halloween stuff coming from the Romford Buccaneers and the Invicta Dynamos this weekend. But this is our episode where we're going to have a chat with one of the players. Really, really excited to have this lad on. We've been messaging for a little while and we've finally got it sorted. And I see him a couple of weeks ago at Chelmsford as well. We're going to be welcoming Oxford City Stars forward Sam Robinson. How you doing tonight, fella?
Yeah, good. Thanks. And yourself?
I'm really well, thank you. Got yourself a win this weekend. It's I think with Oxford, we'll go into your time there, but you've picked up wins along the way, and the confidence just must be soaring when you guys do.
Yeah, it's definitely a buzz that kind of is very good to have in the changing rooms. But yeah, we just got to keep that buzz going because the problem is we're a young team and we can't let anything else get in the way because everyone's heads drop quite quick because we're a young team. But yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing when we get the wins.
Yeah, I think that's something that your coach Mark's got a lot of experience with, is working with young players. Did you work with Mark at Romford when he was there before?
Yeah, so I worked with Mark at Romford. I also worked with Mark at Bracknell. Definitely, I honestly like. Some people say they don't like his coaching, which is known of, but I absolutely love his coaching. I've always loved it, and when the opportunity come over to Oxford, it was like a no-brainer. Really, I love his coaching.
So was it let's go and play for Mark, or was it a geographical thing, or a bit of both?
So it's a kind of like where I'm based, I couldn't really play at Romford anymore. Just the journey and the travelling, it was absolutely killing my car, and yeah, it was Mark had taken up this spot as a coach, and it was like I might as well just go for it. And then yeah, kind of just went from there really.
Yeah, obviously Tidworth a little bit closer to Oxford than it is to Romford, I suppose, isn't it?
That's what I mean. Like it was ended up to be like a 5-hour round trip every Wednesday and Monday night, and it was killing me in the mornings.
I don't know how some of you guys do it. I come home from like a Sunday night game where, I've just been there as a spectator and I get home late and I'm absolutely knackered on the Monday. I've no idea how you do it.
That's what I mean. The Cardiff on a Sunday, if we get that game, it's going to absolutely kill me, I think.
Well, I think that's coming this Saturday, I think, isn't it? I think they've done quite good to line the fixtures up so that nobody's really doing a Cardiff trip on a Sunday, which is
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
helping everybody out. But as you said, you got the win against Cardiff this weekend, and Mark said in his coach's thoughts in this week's episode, he thinks that's going to be quite a rivalry between you guys for the season so far.
yeah, definitely is. You could feel the tempers flaring a bit in the game. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big fixture in the up and coming future. I reckon.
And I don't think anyone would have been able to pick what happened literally a second from the buzzer, that a fight kind of breaks out between a Cardiff player and an Oxford player, but it's the Welsh Oxford player that it breaks out with.
So it was kind of brewing. Yeah, that was bound to happen. Ross isn't the type of guy like that. Like Ross is the most friendliest person I've ever met. I've never ever seen Ross do that. So some buttons must have been pressed there, definitely. But everyone was kind of like, it was a bit. I think heads were going from the other side and both sides, and it was just like, was it needed? Not really, because now we're obviously missing Ross on the Saturday. So, but it's one of them ones. It is what it is, and it's definitely yeah, it's definitely gonna start back up on the Saturday. I think
Yeah, it'd be gutted to be missing that one being played in Cardiff, I'm sure.
definitely
So,
easy travel for him.
so were you sort of a Bracknell boy originally? Then is that where you started ice hockey in Bracknell?
Yeah, so always started in Bracknell until obviously the rink shut down, which was yeah, very sad. And then yeah, kind of that was through COVID, and then went over to Romford with Sean Easton. And then he kind of took over my last few junior years.
No, and that kind of you got the appetite for it at junior that you wanted to play on into seniors, despite your career choice, which some people may or may not know you're in the army.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I was actually gonna stop ice hockey because I didn't realise it was a big thing in the army. And then obviously, Danny Milton got me in touch with Timo over at Slough, and Timo was like, "Well, I'm a recovery mechanic, and I play for the Remy Stallions." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And then ever since then, I joined the recovery mechanic trade. And then Timo just got me in with the Remy Stallions, and then it kind of goes from there, really. And then I managed to keep playing ice hockey and doing what I love.
Yeah. Where would the army just play wherever they can then?
So the army ice hockey is actually quite big. It's so we kind of train out of Swindon, with the Stallions, and then we do like a tri-service every year, which is up in Sheffield, which is like the Army Blades play the RAF Aces and stuff like that. And there's some big names in some of these squads, like you've got your Adam Rossbottoms, your Timo Lindrins, your Spridges, which is over at Cardiff Fire right now. Like it's a good standard. But yeah, we kind of we do, yeah, we play we play at most rinks. I've definitely been around more with the army rinks than I have with club rinks.
Yeah. Is there quite a rivalry then between, as you say, like Army, RAF, Navy, and that?
Yeah, it's a hell of a game to watch. Like, yeah, there's a rivalry. There's no fighting allowed, but it's so at core level. So that's like your Remy versus your RLC. There's no contact. But then you go to your Army versus your RAF, and it's full contact.
Yeah.
So people definitely step up their feistiness and stuff like that, and it does get a bit feisty sometimes.
Well, a lot of the armed forces are known for loving a little bit of feisty on the side of their work, especially in your state.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're something in medical or mechanics and not doing that kind of that frontline stuff, it's a good
yeah.
opportunity to get that aggression out. But fitness wise, even in the army, you've got incredible tests that you have to pass, annually, I believe, to keep your fitness levels up. That obviously
Yeah,
is a big help playing ice hockey.
yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely helped with my fitness, and like the army ice hockey, we do training every week as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I do training on the Wednesday at about lunchtime, and then I obviously go over to Oxford Wednesday evening to do it with Oxford. So it's really good with that as well. And then it's phys every mornings, which is like free gym session basically, getting taught how to be fit.
That's I mean, you're getting quite a lot of ice time then for someone playing at this level.
Yeah, and it's all I wanted really. one of the other reasons I went over to Oxford as well. Ice time this year, because this year I just really wanted to push myself, because last year I kind of lost my love for the sport a little bit. And then uh, joining the army ice hockey team kind of grew that love back for the sport, because you need to have fun with ice hockey, I think. And at the level I'm at, it's kind of a lot serious, like very serious. But yeah, and then you kind of get to have a bit of fun when you're playing army level.
Yeah. But I mean, as you say, to play it at the serious level, it has to be fun anyway. We've had so many players on where they kind of say, "Oh, I didn't really enjoy it. I was thinking about walking away." And obviously, we've said with Oxford, you've had some good wins so far this year, but there's no doubt you've took some tankings as well.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, with it being a young team, do you think the addition of Lids now is going to be that kind of level head to keep these young players heads up if it doesn't go your way?
Definitely, like even myself as like quite a still young player, even just having his presence there, I felt like there was a big change. His coolness, he's just so relaxed, and he's obviously been there and done everything. So everyone's got a lot of respect for him, and he's still a very good player.
Yeah.
Which I honestly don't know how. My body's killing me already, and I'm only 19. But yeah, he's definitely, his presence is a hell of a signing, I think.
Yeah, he's always been an incredible one to watch, as you say, so calm on the puck, never seems to get flustered. And as you say, he's been there, done it, got every t-shirt and every colour, I think.
That's what I mean, and it's a perfect signing for us young players, definitely.
Have the imports settled in at Oxford this year? Because it's both of their first times in England. Although I think Alex Tidings does know a few guys over here, doesn't he?
Yeah, so Alex, I believe he used to play over at Streatham, their second team.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's settling in. He come over and not even wanting to play hockey really, and he kind of got dragged into it a little bit. So it's quite a funny story. But he's settling into the team really nice. He's a really nice guy. And then Johan, he obviously played that game at Chelmsford, got a big injury, so that put him out. But he played back on against Swindon, no, against Cardiff, sorry. And he's settled in really well as well. Like he's got work rate. He's one to watch definitely. I believe.
Yeah, he got his nose slightly bent in a in a strange
I
position.
know it was bad. Yeah, it was bad. His nose was pointing the other way. I was like, oh no! But he's back on the ice, and his nose is still broke, and it's like you're a madman.
It's one of those sports, isn't it? Though it's hardcore to the end. And he left the trailer claret when he left the ice as well. So it was
Everywhere, I know, everywhere. But yeah, it's ice hockey, isn't it? You get stuff like that. You get yeah.
was that a kind of appeal to you as a younger player then to come and play the game? Was it the physicality level of it that was an appeal?
Um. So I didn't really know about the physicality a lot. I started off with roller hockey, and I went from there. And then I kind of got spotted at roller hockey, and it was like, oh, why don't you come over and play ice hockey? And then obviously I was at the age where it was no contact then as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of really didn't appeal to me then. But then when I started reaching the under 15 levels, it kind of started appealing to me a lot then. And I was like, yeah, I definitely like this. It's definitely a bit of me, but I like a bit of roughness, but I'm a small lad, so I try to stay out of some things, but if stuff happens, then it wrong place, wrong time.
It does, yeah. But I mean, from when I've seen you play, so is speed something that you constantly work on? Because you see a lot of the smaller players will actually focus more on speed than physicality because it's makes you so much harder to catch.
Yeah, so I've always been known as having an engine in me. Like I won't stop even if we're getting smashed. Like I'm just not the person to quit. I skate 100%, and you know what you're getting from me. But yeah, speed and just going. I'm a grinder basically. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just one of those players you don't want coming and chasing you in the corner.
Yeah, yeah. So a Chelmsford player actually gets a similar tag. Alan Lack. Everyone says
Love him.
he's like a wasp at a barbecue.
I love him. So when he was at Romford, I done one season with him at Romford, and literally I absolutely like I was looking up to him because this was my first senior year, and I was like, wow, like that's what I want to be everywhere. I want to be an absolute nuisance. Like I just don't, yeah. And then one time, I think I had my first ever hockey fight, and I was 16. And then I come off, and Ben Pitchley was like, "You're up, Mini Lackey," and I was like, "Yeah." But yeah, he's hard work, Lackey. He's hard to play against.
Yeah. I don't know anyone that actually enjoys playing against him, to be perfectly honest. But is
He's
that
just in your face 24/7.
yeah, he is non-stop, and he's a big miss when he's injured for Chelmsford. He is a really big miss because it's strange, I think, to find someone that plays like that all the time. As you say,
Yeah,
there's no quitting it whatsoever. It's just everything's at 110%. But
yeah,
again, as we've said, it's the kind of game, if you don't give it 110%, you're going to get injured, you're going to get found out, and you're going to end up not being able to play the game.
100%. That's another big problem this season for a lot of teams is your injuries. Injuries are killing a lot of teams at the moment.
Yeah, you guys have
Uh,
been quite bad, haven't you?
yeah, so we've had a good few players who've literally, I think, played the first game. So our captain, Cookie, he's done something, so he's not back for I don't know how long. But yeah, he's a big miss. Another senior player that we kind of could be dealing with.
Yeah, I'm sure. Didn't
Uh,
Mark tell me he took a slap shot or something and it bruised and it just has not healed?
So I think he's done some sort of ligament damage or something like that, but I don't really know it off the top. But yeah, he's the problem is some players push themselves and come back a bit too early, and
Yeah.
it wipes them out for even longer. And so yeah, I think that's what people have tried doing is coming back early, and then it's just been like, nah, it's made it worse. But yeah, he's a big player that we're missing.
Yeah. And so the way that Mark set the squad up this year, as you say, a little bit of experience, a lot of youth, but it's, as you said, I think his coaching methods are perfect for that sort of environment. And you only got to look at the league because we've said on this podcast, it's been said elsewhere as well. The league is tiered. We all know it is tiered.
Yeah,
But I mean, at the moment, Oxford they're gonna win that bottom four. We,
yeah.
I don't think you could have asked for much more than that going into the season.
So I Mark completely labelled that at the beginning of the season. He said this league is going to be tiered as you said. And he said he just wants to get the best of us as he can. And when our team does perform, we can win games. It's just um, trying to keep that scoring down from the bigger teams. Because the problem is we let in a few goals, and because obviously our youth, we just let it get to us. And this is where I hope your lids and stuff like that is going to help us out a lot. But yeah, I think we just got to keep pushing for the top of that bottom four, really.
Yeah, and as you say, they're letting heads drop. Mentality must be a big part of your day as well as your evenings on the ice because it's working for the king in the good way rather than being in prison. The
Yeah,
your mentality is under focus all day, really. I suppose, isn't it?
yeah. I think it's one of them ones really. Like I've got quite good people around me through ice hockey, really, because I'm quite decent at ice hockey. I've got Timo there looking out for me. I've got a few of the other Remy boys who all look out for me and make sure that I'm not over stressing over work and sports and stuff like that, which is another really good thing with the army, is that if you're good with a sport, that people will look after you and make sure that you are not over stressing yourself.
Yeah.
Which has been definitely a big help out. Like, yeah, there's a few people who've sorted me right out, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, your time management is just going to be key, isn't it? So that you don't actually let it affect your work as well as anything else.
It's ridiculous. Like, because we've got to do like guard duties and stuff like that, and that goes over the weekends. And like I was meant to be on guard this Saturday, and then one of the lads managed to get me off of it because it's a big game for ice hockey, and I need to kind of be there. So yeah, and then now I've got to take over one of his guards on a different date. So it's definitely hard for timings, but it's something you just got to do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it? And as I say, when you've got a hobby as time consuming as this one, but it's more than a hobby at your level, really, because it's third tier. It's a bloody good level, and what we've seen so far this season, right across the league, actually, is the quality has gone up. I think massively
Definitely.
it's gone up, and as you say, more so in the top echelons of the table, because as you said, we are seeing some quite big scores, which is it's not ideal, but you can see even the teams that aren't winning games are actually playing a lot better than they have done in previous years.
Yeah. I think I think like there still be. I think the league's a weird one. It always has been. I think because if you're not on a good day and you play one of these bottom teams, like as you've seen your Romfords against your Invictors, like any team can grab any point if you try abusing the situation that you know you're better than them. So I still think anything can happen, but there's the higher end teams have pulled in some players that are just like wow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I got to say, I was at Chelmsford Sunday for Chelmsford against Streatham, and you look at like the first two lines that are out there for the face-off, and that's two National League teams.
100%, 100%, yeah, and they are lines that will shred most teams. But it's one of them ones. Just try to stop them from scoring as much as they can, really.
So, as you said, you train with Oxford on a Wednesday evening. Is it just the once a week that they're getting at the Ox Pens now?
Yeah, just the once a week. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the ice time at the Ox Pens is incredibly difficult. I know the female team there actually got their name because their training slot was midnight. So
That's one.
yeah,
That's one, isn't
yeah.
it?
That's why they became
Yeah.
the Oxford Midnight Stars. So, I mean, what's the how does it sort of set up then at Mark's training sessions? How does it normally go?
So it's kind of like your late sessions on your Wednesdays. We've just managed to get hold of gym memberships for all the players. So before the training sessions, I think we're all going to start going to the gym.
Mm.
But I haven't managed to be at the last couple due to being away with courses and stuff like that in the army. But due to injuries, I think we've had low numbers at training. So it's a lot of a kind of your second team and your first team all at training. But yeah, it's a good session. It's just numbers are quite a
Yeah.
hard thing to try do your power plays, your penalty kills, and get used to your lines because we're jumping into games on weekends, and like your players who were injured weren't there on the Wednesday but will be at the games, and you don't really know your lines too well. But yeah, Mark somehow figures something out and he does it. I don't know how, but it's just he pulls a finger out somewhere.
So with your with your working schedule, sometimes you have to move things around so you get to a game. What's your typical game day like?
Um, so it depends. It depends whether I'm working or not. If I've got a guard duty on, I'll get somebody to cover for me whilst I go away to the game day. And then obviously I'll get back to work. I'll leave the game straight away and then get back to work. It's all quite tight because I also play football on the Sunday mornings. So it is all quite it's all, and then roller hockey as well. So it is all quite tight, but I love it really. I'd rather have everything packed than be doing nothing. That's definitely the type of person I am.
Yeah, and definitely lucky to stay clear of injuries, especially playing football.
Yeah. Well, the army give us a physio, so that sorts us right out as well. Yeah. So they do us with a strength and conditioning and a physio, and they are amazing. A nutritionist. Honestly, if you're good at a sport, the best thing I could say is join the army. Like they look after you a lot.
Are they moving forward with the like the modern ways of recovery now with like cryotherapy and things like that? They get anything like that in there?
Nah, none of that yet. But yeah, I haven't. I've got to be careful what I say here because I haven't had an injury yet that's been.
Touch wood.
Yeah, I've got a wooden table that I'm led on right now. That's kind of needed anything like that. The only thing I've kind of done is broken my collarbone, but that was when I was like 12 years old. But I've had to go back to a cage now because I've had a puck to the ear. I've sliced my face. So I've gone back to a cage for a little bit.
Yeah, when I saw
So
you
I'm injured.
I saw you had your ear was all stitched up. Was that a puck? Was it?
Yeah, so against Swindon, I took Jay Warren's slap shot to the ear,
Ooh.
and it snapped my ear guard and slit open my ear. So so yeah, that was one thing. And then I caught a blade to the chin against Romford, which was lucky. And then so I looked at my mum and dad, and I was like, yeah, I think it's time to fit a cage back on for a little bit.
Plus,
And it was like, yes.
you don't want any of that dental work either too early in your career.
Well, luckily, dental's free in the army, so.
You really have got
But
the
yeah,
best of both worlds there.
yeah.
All right, we've had a few questions come in on the Instagram.
Oh no.
There's one we've actually covered. The name is so long I can't actually even read it, but it was sort of covering the the new signings in Oxford. And one of your teammates, dads, who's is a great fan of the podcast. Yeah, I love speaking to Justin whenever I can. Justin Wilson. Did the army make you wear that silly moustache?
Oh yeah, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. So yeah, what do I get called? I get called Freddie Mercury when I go into the changing rooms. Mark gives me all the stick. But at the moment, I've not been able to shave, so I've kind of got a bit of a patchy goatee sort of going along. But I think I got to the point where I was getting ID'd for a Red Bull too much. So I thought I might as well try and go some sort of facial hair. So I kind of grew out the tash, and it's still not working. I'm still getting ID'd for a Red Bull.
No, I was thinking about doing Movember again this year because I did it about 14 years ago. But
Yeah.
I've got too many chins to shave the beard off now. It's just
Yeah.
that's why I keep the microphone in the middle as well. It just covers all. But no, yeah. To be fair, the hockey players love a moustache and a mullet. I think it's not as fashion's choice. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I'd have a mullet, but we're not allowed it in the army, so that's one thing I can't have.
At least they're not making you shave your heads off like they used to.
Well, they did when we first joined. It's full skinhead, and then kind of now it's kind of a respectful length.
Yeah.
Obviously, so it doesn't look too messy. But yeah, I don't want to shave off my head again.
No. Where did you do your basic training for the army?
Up in Leeds.
Well, up near Harrogate. That
Yeah,
one.
Harrogate. Yeah, Harrogate. That's literally where I done it. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to maintain sports and fitness equipment, and I used to do a little bit of work with the MOD, so I did install quite a bit of stuff up at Harrogate.
Yeah, so that's where we done it. 6 months I done it there. Probably the best time of my life. I think I was the healthiest, the fittest. I was eating perfect food every day. But yeah, I missed hockey. 6 months without hockey, that was a killer.
Yeah, but I suppose in that first 6 months there, I suppose you meet people that are going to be in your life for the rest of your life, don't you?
So it's kind of said like that, but I think a lot of us kind of have gone our own ways now. I still talk to a few of them, but it's kind of it's one of them ones. It's more your phase two that I kind of meet people for life, like where I'm doing my actual trade training. That's where I kind of meet people and I bump into them. I'm like, let's go for a drink, and they're always up for everything.
Yeah. So I mean,
But,
so people are not aware. Then, when you do your basic training, is that to just join the army, and then do you pick what branch you want to go into?
yeah, so you pick what branch you want to go into before you join your basic training. But when you do your basic training, you do 6 months of just like basic military skills. So like living in the field, field craft, hygiene, looking after yourself, making your beds, polishing everything, ironing everything. It's just like it's the dirty stuff of the army, really. And then when you get to your phase two, you go over and you do your trade work. So you start doing your vehicle, your driving licenses and stuff like that, which is another bonus of the army, getting all your licenses.
Yeah. What made you choose the army then? Where did that all come from?
So obviously COVID hit, and I'm quite a outdoorsy person. And when COVID hit, I kind of went for a bit of a down path. And the only thing that I kind of could do to get myself out of the house was to join the army. And I joined it and absolutely loved it. Literally, my mates are at home, sat on their bums all day, literally doing nothing. And I was just doing something with my life, got all my qualifications. Yeah, it sorted me right out, definitely. So that was kind of the main reason.
Yeah, fair play to you, mate. Because there's a lot of people, as you say, during COVID, just didn't know what was going on, did they? And as you say, anything. And yeah, for you to step up and go and do that, man, that shows,
Yeah, I loved it. Honestly, it was the best thing I could have ever done. I'm a big believer in every youth should do 6 months basic training. Because I was like, I wouldn't say I was a bit of a bad kid, but I was naughty and I didn't really have that much respect. And then I went through the army and it kind of taught me all my morals, my values, and everything like that. And honestly, like I was a different person as soon as I left.
I'm very much inclined to agree with you, mate. I think that at least 6 months national service is a bloody good idea.
I think it just gets people kind of realizing what life's like without their phone. Like we wasn't allowed our phone during the day. It gets you socializing a lot as well, which a lot of kids aren't really doing a lot nowadays. And then yeah, just gets you out of the house, which I'm a big believer on. And if anything ever does go pants, then everybody's sort of got a clue on what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey ho.
Yeah, always in the hope of not needing to require the services of the army, but great that it's always there.
Yeah, definitely.
I got one here from Jay Barbrook. Who's the biggest supporter towards your ice hockey friendship wise?
Friendship wise, so I've definitely that's my mate Jack. He used to watch all my games through like junior sort of career, and he was the only one who ever come to watch me play ice hockey.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was always there, and I love him to bits. Literally every time I go out, he's always talking about me playing ice hockey. Because most of my mates now are kind of a bit drinky every night, like they're in their teens, like you know what I mean.
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, and I'm quite away from all that because I do hockey Saturday, Sundays now, so I haven't really got much time for it. And he's always there speaking about it, and it's just like not many of my mates know I even play ice hockey. I remember my brother brought it up to one of my closest mates the other day, and he was like, "What? Your brother plays ice hockey? What? When does this happen?" And then it was just like, yeah, but definitely Jack. He's one of my closest mate supporters.
Oh, good man. Jack Barbrook, fair play to you, mate. Make sure you share all this out and get people looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, mate, thank you so much for giving me some of your time this evening. It has actually, in my ears, and that it sounded really good. But I'll just let people know that Sam's actually on his data because the Wi-Fi on the army camp is not brilliant. So
Thanks.
it does all sound brilliant. But mate, yeah, I'm so thrilled that you've come on to join me. Really, I've enjoyed watching you play when I've seen you play this season, and I do wish you the best of luck for the rest of it.
Thank you very much for this, mate. Honestly, it's been superb. Thank you.
No, mate, you're more than welcome. And like I say, I've got a lot of time for Mark, your coach, as well. So I'll always keep an eye out for Oxford's results and always come and see you when you're at Chelmsford.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for that.
Nice one. Cheers, Sam.
Thank you. Bye bye.
A massive thank you to Sam for giving up part of his evening. As you can see, he's on camp at his army barracks, and as I said just at the end there, he was on his data as well because the Wi-Fi isn't really good enough to sort of keep up with it. But really do appreciate Sam giving up his evening, and I 100% agree with his notion that all of the teenagers, when they turn 16 or 17, should go and do some basic training with the army. I do think that would make a massive difference to our society, to be honest, if nothing else. So thank you so much for listening. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. One for the Oxford City Stars fans there. Of course, Sam, as he said, those played at Romford and Bracknell as well. So, and then playing with the army does get about the country. So hopefully everyone should enjoy that. Please don't forget to check out our partners, Hockey Art Clothing, manscaped.com, 2 Minutes for Trading, and of course the Sports Social Podcast Network. If you like pretty much any sport you can think of, there'll be a podcast about it on that network. You can also check out the ZPG merch store. If you click the link on any of our social media pages, you'll be able to find that there. And you can find hoodies, beanies, and bubble hats and sort of coasters. There's quite a few little bits on there, actually. It's quite good fun. There's I'll tell you, the last time I actually saw someone wearing one of the hoodies, it blows my mind every time I see it. It's Mark Wilson at Chelmsford, fantastic geezer. And him and his family all come and watch Chelmsford, and he's got a Zero Pucks hoodie, and it's awesome. I love the support that the podcast gets. It really does make it worthwhile because, as I've said on times before, this does take up a little bit of my time. I do really enjoy doing it, but just seeing the love and hearing the love is absolutely fantastic. So, once again, thank you so much for everybody that listens and enjoys it. And keep giving me that feedback because even if it's something you don't like, let me know so that we can keep improving it. So we'll probably do a little dog walk live later this week where we'll jump on and have a talk about what's been going on so far this week. But for now, I'll see you next time.